Hi Year 2, it's Miss Addy. Our learning question for maths today is, can I multiply by 10? Our steps to success say, I can draw arrays representing the 10 times tables. I can record repeated addition sentences representing the 10 times tables. And I can record multiplication sentences representing the 10 times tables. Again, you might have noticed I've repeated the 10 times tables. That's because we're learning to multiply by 10. This will be very similar to the last 2 days of learning, where we've been multiplying by 2 and 5, but get ready to think about the pattern for counting in tens. But before we do that, let's look at our star word. Our first star word is array. These are our pictorial representations that help us visualize, that means see, that help us visualize multiplication sentences. We have pictures using rows and columns to help us. Then we have the star word repeated addition, which we have done so much on this week. And in red, I've got the symbol addition. We've got the phrase groups of because groups of is an important phrase. This means lots of. It helps us when we multiply. So we've got the star word multiplication with the times symbol next to it because that's the operation we're learning about today. And our last star word phrase is multiple of 10. That means numbers we say when we're counting in tens. These are numbers that are part of the 10 times tables. You should be really good at this by now, but let's remind ourselves one last time, what is multiplication? Well, multiplication is one of our 4 operations. Can you remember our 4 operations? They're there on the left-hand side of the screen. We've got addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Multiplication is when we are looking at lots of or groups of. And we can follow some strategies, some helpful steps to help us to multiply. And the first thing we should think about are arrays. Now, I already spoke about this when we went through the star words, but these are our pictorial representations. Pictorial means pictures. So they're pictures, objects we can look at to help us visualize. That means see our multiplication sentence. So here we've got apples, fire trucks, and cubes, but you can use anything to help you draw an array. I usually use shapes because it's quicker. When we've got our array, we can think about the repeated addition number sentence. So that same number repeating again and again using the addition symbol. This then helps us to write our multiplication number sentence. So 3 times 4 equals 12. Remember that time sign, it means lots of or groups of. So 3 groups of 4, 3 lots of 4, 3 times 4. We've been thinking about a very special star word this week. Can you remember that special star word? It starts with the P sound. Well done if you could remember it. It's product. And an even bigger well done if you remember what product means. A product in maths is the answer to a multiplication problem. So this comes after our equal sign. 2 times 2 equals 4. 4 is the product. If I had 5 times 5, my answer would be 25. So 25 would be my product. And all this week, we've been looking at number patterns. It's so important to think about number patterns when we're counting in twos, fives, and tens. And it's really important to think about number patterns when we're multiplying. So because our learning question today is, can I multiply by 10? We're thinking about the number patterns when we count in tens. Now, this is one of the easiest number patterns to remember because on the 100 square, you can see I've coloured in pink the whole of the last column. So all of those numbers that end in a 0. So the number that ends in a 0 is, remember, it's called the ones digit. So the ones digit is a 0. It stays the same every single time. And the first digit is the tens digit, and that goes up each time. So after looking at the 100 square and the pattern on the 100 square, I think we need to practice counting in tens. Ready? Join in with me. My first number when I count in tens will be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100. 100 is a 3-digit number. You might have noticed that all of those numbers end in a 0. That means the ones digit ends in a 0. So here I've got some arrays, and I've got some multiplication sentences, and I've got some repeated addition number sentences. The first one says 1 times 10 equals 10. That means one group of 10 is 10, and all I've got is one row of 10. I don't have a repeated addition number sentence for that because it is just 10. But you can see on the next one, it says 2 times 10 equals 20. 10 plus 10 equals 20. I have two rows of 10, 2 times 10. And my last one says 3 times 10 equals 30. 10 plus 10 plus 10 equals 30. And you can see I've got 3 rows of 10. That's my array. You can see now that they are increasing, they're going up each time. I've added an extra row of 10 every time, and because I've added an extra row of 10, I've added an extra 10 in my repeated addition number sentence. There's a little bit of a pattern you might see. 4 times 10 equals 40. 5 times 10 equals 50. 6 times 10 equals 60. The 10 times table is probably one of the most simple times tables because there is always a relationship, there's always a pattern between the numbers that we're times in. 4 times 10 equals 40. There is a 4 in my product. There is a 0 in my product. Just like there was a 4 and a 0 from the 10 in the number sentence. 7 times 10 equals 70. 8 times 10 equals 80. Oh dear, looking at these arrays, I have the arrays, but I don't have the multiplication sentence, nor do I have the repeated addition number sentences. I wonder if you could pause the video and see if you can work them out by looking at the arrays. Remember to look at how many equal groups there are and have a look at how many are in each group. Well done if you were correct. The first one is 9 times 10 equals 90, and then 10 times 10 equals 100, our 3-digit number. Well done if you got those correct. And now you two, you need to help me for the last time this week to build a multiplication house. So this time we're looking at the 10 times tables, and you should be whizzes at this now. So let's look at the chimney first. 10 times 10. Oh, we just did that on the last slide. 10 times 10. That's quite a large multiplication. That might even be a 3-digit number. Can you work it out? Shout it out. It's 100. Let's have a go at the roof. 1 times 10. Remember, when we multiply by 1, then the answer will stay the same as what we're timesing it by. So 1 times 10, one lot of 10, is 10. That's quite a simple one. The door, it asks us 6 times 10, 6 groups of 10. I think we need to count in tens to work this one out. So let's count in tens 6 times and stop. So you might need your fingers for this one. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. 6 times 10 equals 60. Well done if you got that. Our window says 2 times 10, so 2 lots of 10, 2 groups of 10. Remember, when we times by 2, we're doubling, so double 10. Well done, 2 times 10 is 20. Let's have a look at the top window. 3 times 10, so 3 groups of 10. Let's count in tens 3 times. 10, 20, 30. 3 times 10 is 30. Let's have a look at this window. 7 times 10, so 7 groups of 10 this time. This means we need to count in tens 7 times. Let's go. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. 7 times 10 is 70. And our last window asks us 9 times 10. This one's a little bit bigger, so 9 groups of 10. Let's count in tens 9 times. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Fantastic, well done if you got all of those correct. And now we're moving on to your job. So your task today is to record the 10 times tables. That means write them down. And you're writing the repeated addition number sentences. So just like the rest of this week, when you've been focusing on the 2 times table and the 5 times table, you're going to write down all of the 10 times tables and write down the repeated addition number sentence next to each. So here's my example in blue. 3 times 10 equals 30. 10 plus 10 plus 10 equals 30. So see if you can do that for all of the other 10 times tables. And then your challenge, if you think that's quite simple, you could then go and draw your arrays next to each. This might take you a little bit longer today because today they'll be in groups of tens. So remember, you can draw any picture you like, or shapes or counters or whatever it is you want to do, but they need to be in equal rows of tens, equal groups of tens. And when you count them, when you work out the product, you need to count them in tens and see if you can spot that special pattern. I hope you enjoy your task.